All right. Welcome, welcome. Thrilled to have you here. Who's stoked to be here? A little round of applause. Woo! We are joined today by our world-famous keynote speaker. Selfies will be available after this session. Just kidding. I'm Sasha Grimm. I'm with Jamf, and I'll be facilitating our session today. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Dan McLaughlin and Rob Potvin.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So the forward-looking statement is up, but thank you very much for coming to our talk. Talk is scoping to people, not devices. So we really want to talk about how important it is to think about the person versus the device. So my name is Rob Potvin.
And I am Dan, or Daniel McLaughlin.
I work for Jamf as a senior consulting engineer.
Also work for Jamf as a senior consulting engineer.
Just located on different parts of the planet. Funny enough, I'm Canadian, but I live in the Netherlands.
And I'm Irish, and I live in Sydney, Australia.
And we did this presentation through different time zones, so we have to thank Dan for staying up late after his workday to talk to me.
And you getting up early.
Yes, but still, thanks. So yeah, the complete title for the talk, but really what we're here to really talk about first is when we start with Jamf Pro, or we're picking up someone else's Jamf Pro instance, this is kind of the view. We think of devices. You start at Jamf Pro, you have Smart Group for computers, Smart Group for mobile devices. We want to kind of look past that. We want to zoom in right close and think about the person that is behind the computer, okay? The person using the device. So throughout this presentation, we have characters. So I want to introduce two of our characters for this presentation, and that is Sarah Newman, who is our intern for Acme Inc., and our Mac admin, Kevin Skidmore.
Thank you, sir.
Dan.
Oh, I hate you so much sometimes. So when we look at like this industry and like working with technology, we can see it's not about the technology though. It's about the people that are there. Like the device is just a tool to empower these end users. Like Apple, at every event, WWDC, they are driving home that it's the end user experience for their consumer. Our end users are people as well. We want them to get that experience. So we want to look at people first. And it's, again, all of these different devices, whether they're on a Mac, whether they're on an iPad, an iPhone, the watchOS, the Vision Pros, if you have that kind of budget. So we should really not lose sight on like, oh, we need to push out this iPhone in the setting. And we look at the user that is using that phone or that Mac, whatever it might be. So our story is going to begin with Sarah. She's new, and she started as an intern. She's just received an iPhone, an iPad, and a Mac from Kevin. It's some good startup money with that kind of a kit. But so Kevin's looks like a hero. It's like we're providing all this shiny new gear. This is fantastic. Interns are killing it. They're getting the best and the brightest against everything else. So let's have a look at what Sarah's first day is going to be. Standard sort of thing. She's going to go through Setup Assistant, connect to the Wi-Fi. This is sped up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we're not going to sit here for 5 minutes going through this.
And she's going to like go through, did that click? Oh, there we go. Get the EULA, log in, her identity. Scan through.
Yeah, go through, yeah. Something should pop out here for somebody.
Just for one person, I think.
Yeah, just one person. But anyway, that's the point. We should have spun up a little faster, but anyway.
We should have, yeah.
Oh, there it came.
Oh, sorry. But yeah, she's ready to start going. But that was just generic.
Yeah, so?
There's nothing about the person in that, really.
Yeah, it was. So she signed in. It was her. Oh, yeah, right. That's what everyone does. You guys already know this.
Yeah.
That's like.
So that's the talk.
Yeah, sorry about that. We made a mistake. Sorry. No, wait. I have an idea.
We're going to drop.
It wasn't that. That wasn't it. Yeah. How about this? Sarah got a promotion. She's awesome. Remember, we just talked about it. She had like the full
awesome.
kit, everything else. So she went from intern to chief marketing officer.
Right?
In this one moment, because that's how awesome she is. So everybody,
Let's give it up for Sarah.
let's give it up for Sarah. Okay. So Sarah comes into work, comes back from lunch, knowing that she's now the CMO. Yep. Sits down to start her new job, but it's a problem. She logs into the Mac and swears a little bit because none of the apps she's supposed to use in her new job is on the device. So for her, it's kind of upsetting. So it's kind of the promotion that broke the workflow. Okay? Dan?
$1 in the jar for it about that. So what like anyone would do with this? Something's missing on that end. They're going to reach out to your IT support. But Kevin's a bit like frustrated now. She was the intern this morning. Now she's C-suite. She's senior leadership. Like we gotta look after her. So Kevin just goes very reactive. Like, okay, let's just go. So got to find her devices. We've got to get this right now, because Sarah's awesome and she's working fast. So he's going to log into Jamf Pro. He's going to find the marketing software static group. He's then going to search. He's going to find her device, add it, and then that's it.
We know that's a little extreme, having static groups for stuff, but
show
we
of
also
hands.
know who here has used a static group for something like that before.
Yeah.
They're kind of handy. How many C-suite people do we really have, right? So yeah, a little bit, so.
But there's problems with this workflow. Like it does not scale. It's a lot of very manual interaction. It's not proactive, it's very reactive.
Clickety, click, 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 do.
And you can click the wrong one.
Yep.
Right? Just fine. If you have all that big device type thing, you find you click on the wrong tick box. It's hard to see, dark mode, light mode, whatever. And it's a huge waste of time. And the way that Acme Co is going, their time is money.
Yep.
So there's got to be a better way. Like Kevin's like saying, like, he's tickets closed. I'm good. But what if that happens again? What happens tomorrow? So they're growing so fast. You've got to be able to automate this. And all the information is in the IDP. Like, IDP knew that she was being promoted, changed her user groups and things of that nature. So Kevin is at a bit of a crossroads. He's like, he can do the hard way, or he can level up his skills. This clicker does not. You really got to click it.
Yep.
But it's very much time for Kevin to level up. And we're here at Jamf, we're all about self-improvement. And trying to
say it.
and trying to do better. So we're going to go on a bit of an adventure. Sir.
Oh, thank you. Yes, and the adventure begins. This is the quest to learn more, to find better ways, to automate some of these things, these processes. So our adventure begins, and we're on a quest. Please note that Kevin does have a 3D printer. He printed off that. It's not real metal, so he's not going to hurt anyone in the office. The first quest on Kevin's adventure is to RTFM. Read the fantastic manual, right?
Yes.
So he goes through and takes a look at some of the notes that we have, the change log. What do we call it again?
New features,
new
announcements.
feature. Yeah, the change.
Release notes.
Yeah, release notes. Thank you. I was going for it. It says right there. I should have read. But going through the release notes. So how many people here read the release notes on every rev of Jamf Pro?
Be honest.
Okay, we got 3 people. That is
Put
honest.
your hand down.
Oh, sorry. I don't read them. Yeah. But no. So going through the release notes finds out some information. Didn't know about that. Second quest. Got to really click the clicker.
Yeah, you really do.
Is finding out the information of where this is. So when Sarah changes the department, who knows our users and groups? Well, the IDP admin. So we have another character to introduce here. That is our IDP admin. That is Sean Lepin. And, he got an email knowing right away where Sarah was moved from the intern group HR changed her. She got a big pay bump, so it all automated. And he moved her from the interns group to the marketing group and the CC group. So she was pretty happy, or because she knew she was in the right department. So Kevin goes out, talk to Sean to figure out how does this work? What are you doing here? What am I supposed to do when this happens? And what are the workflows that you're doing, and how can I automate this? Because he knows about the information when he just read the RTFM, the Read the Fantastic Manual. So now he's talking with Sean.
Collaboration. And we're all about learning, self-improvement. Kevin is on a learning journey, learning adventure. Quest. And he's discovered through working with Sean that not all groups are equal. Yeah, you really...
I dropped it.
Oh, we dropped it. That's what we did, yeah.
Sorry.
So he understood the concepts of a group and leveraging that. We do that with our devices already, like put into that there. But he learned with like an identity side, it can get so much more complicated on that, where you can have nested groups for users, not devices, not smart nested groups. I thought that's probably important to clarify.
Yep.
But yeah, so groups of like using that. So like a marketing group is a member of all staff. Like that's a nested group of users within a bigger group of that there. And how you're going to be able to display that information and extract that information is all about that adventure or quest. So Kevin's doing well. He's leveling up. And he's learning a lot. He's rolling nat 20s. Still with the safety armor.
Yeah, the plastic.
So next off, if the information that Kevin needs is within another department, a little collaboration between the IDP, whoever's looking after your identity, 'cause often it's a different department, it can go a long way. It can really make the IDP admins look great, or greater, and make Kevin or the IT teams just really evolve and automate their stuff there. So taking what we've learned from Kevin's read the fantastic manual. He's collaborated with the IDP admin. Let's have a look at how he's going to import that and integrate that into Jamf Pro. So we're going to go in our users. We can go and see. We can search by users. We're going to search for a sermon where we can find her. We're going to then find any of the devices that are assigned to this user. We can then go through here and we can find into our user and location section. We can see our Entra direct members and then our nested members, sort of that transitive thing there. There it goes. So that's all that identity information is coming from Entra. It's not something that we just added in through Jamf Pro. And that's really cool. We can sort of see, like, there's the direct memberships and there's the all members. But let's sort of see how we got there. Because how did Kevin do that? So if we wanted to get to the transitive groups, we need to make sure that this thing is checked when you have your cloud identity provider connected. So this is when your side settings, cloud identity provider, that transitive membership lookups does need to be ticked. It's important, that's step number one. And what we really want to do is we're having a SAML assertion string to clarify that we're doing membership lookups. So just have the box ticked, I think is probably the easiest way of saying that. We also need to make sure that we are doing inventory collection for both computers and for devices.
2 ticks. Yeah.
So there's 2 tick boxes for this. They're in separate pages, where we're collecting that user and location information from a directory service. That does include the cloud identity provider.
You can keep the clicker though, I'll just talk through this next one.
Sure.
Yeah, so what that looks like is pretty straightforward. When a device, like a computer or a mobile device, iPad, when they have an inventory, right, they send that information to Jamf Pro. Now, Jamf Pro knows that these devices are associated with Sarah Newman. So with that, with those 2 tick boxes checked in computer inventory collection and mobile inventory collection, what Jamf Pro will do is we'll then query Entra in this case and see that, okay, this is Sarah Newman, this is associated with, and then we'll do some extra steps here to pull in that information to the extension attributes for member of and transitive member of. So on inventory update. So again, inventory is not as always instant with iOS and iPadOS. It happens once a day unless you ask for an inventory update. And with macOS, the default policy is once a week. But if you've been in any of my classes back in the day, you would know that anytime you're changing the device, you need to get an inventory update, right? So if you can install software. So inventory does happen, it just might not happen as fast as you want.
Yeah. This is still you.
Oh, still me? Okay. And here we're creating the extension attribute. So you want to click one more time? Thank you very much. So the directory service mapping, this is here, member of display name. It's an extension attribute. So the nice thing is that you can place this extension attribute in anywhere in the inventory. As you saw what Kevin did, he placed it under the user. So in the user location information, you can place the results of this extension attribute so then everything associated with Sarah Newman is in one place. Perfect. And then last but not least is the second one, which is the groups of groups, so the transitive. Again, a second extension attribute. And this is Entra only, but you would get that information and put it in place. So once we have the EA and that inventory has happened, we have the list of groups associated with Sarah for either iOS or macOS, and we can add this to a smart group. So the cool thing is, it is criteria, right? So we can create a number of different smart groups. So think of it, you can create smart group based on group memberships. So anyone within this group gets this type of software, these types of policies, this type of compliance, you name it. It's very, very powerful. And if we kind of just break that down, please note the curved corners on that table, by the way. We worked really hard for that. But we have a smart computer groups, and yeah, just kind of a layout. But it's just a quick, I can take a picture and it's there for you. But pretty easy.
So let's go back to our IDP admin for a second, because we are going to talk a little bit more about some IDPs, because not everyone is a Microsoft customer, and we will acknowledge that. So we do have, like, of course, Microsoft Entra, where you can, we just sort of went through, it's your member of display name, transitive member of display name. It's in the read for the fantastic manual. There's also ways we might be able to enhance this, as sort of Rob was mentioning with that inventory update type thing. We can get things through Entra, which is like event-driven things that happened at the IDP. So you could leverage something with the event grid inside Microsoft, have that as a subscription, fire off to maybe Power Automate or some further thing, choose your own adventure, and then trigger that through that way. I do like APIs when they work.
Yep.
No live demos in this session. Okta. Okta also supports this as an attribute. If you're using like the Okta LDAP interface or something like that, using the member of as an extension attribute for the directory service mapping will get you those groups. But Okta also has workflows. Yes, workflows, where you can have something that happened at the IDP side. So in Okta, you can say user added to a group, fire off and do an event.
And Dan, real quickly, why doesn't Okta have a transitive member of?
They just have every group.
Every group's just a member of, right?
If you're a member of, whether you're nested or not, it shows you all of them. Yeah. Google Workspace, of course. I believe they deal with identity at times, especially in education, I think. But also, very common theme here. There's a member of. They are also using that as an attribute if you're using Google for your identity within Jamf Pro. But then again, they also, the event occurred on the Google side. You can do the publish subscription audit logging is probably the default method for accessing this. An event changed on Google's side. User was added, user was removed, user deleted, whatever this was, and then forward that onto whatever automation pipeline you fancy.
Quick survey. How many Entra? Ooh. How many Okta? How many Google?
How many other?
Of course.
So for other,
talk to this man right here.
Yeah, there's a support group. Go Mac Admin Slack, absolutely Jamf Nation. In most cases, and this again, we love to note the rounded corners. That was where most of the energy on these slides went to, really. Most of the ones that I've sort of seen will have member of as an attribute, but obviously don't try that there. But we can see with the rest of them, Entra is just very unique in its transitive member of versus just the direct.
Yep.
Everyone else is just like, you remember regardless of how you got there. And just a little AI plug, because I think it was mentioned a few times yesterday. You can actually ask Jamf AI to give you some more information about sort of groups, identities, references to read the fantastic manual.
I asked it here, I think, was like, where is like my IDP used within like users within Jamf Pro? And from all that text, we got the next slide.
Yeah. And then there's also ways of, this again, we love our charts, rounded corners. We did put a lot of time in that. There's ways of just sort of getting information about the user that may not directly come from the IDP. So you can read this with that there. There's, is it binding?
I don't know what binding is. Anyone here do binding?
Okay, there's a support group for you too.
No more gummy bears for him.
But yeah, but like, because again, different device platforms, you might be able to run things on a Mac that you can't necessarily do on an iPhone or an iPad. Some things don't have an existence of a user, like a TV, but you still want to maybe assign them as a user for certificates or some form of identity from that point of view.
So, kind of a review of the results of Kevin's quest, right? Was this new workflow that he kind of created there was kind of more automation in place, less errors, right? Not only that, he made a new friend. We got to meet Sean. Got to, his quirky personality. Got to hang out. It's pretty fun. Mm-hmm. But really, it was that collaboration that made it possible, right? And no more dealing with static groups was kind of like the end result for him. So with an update of that quest, things that we should remember to do is RTFM, read the fantastic manual, be proactive rather than reactive, collaborate. And again, I take this from Misha, is like, we are better together, right? It does, when we work together, we make great things, right? And as in anything with Jamf Pro, there's more than one way to do a thing. Mm-hmm. So Sarah's pretty happy. She now logs into her laptop, and this was after her second lunch break because she's now sea level. And notices right away when she logged in now, all the software that she needed was there, and it's just based on the memberships of who she is. But wait, sometimes, as much as we like to think about the user, there's just too many devices, and sometimes we want to think of, that was cool, but I still want to automate all the things, right? Dan?
So we're going to introduce another member of our party. This is Rasputin Labyrinthy.
What kind of gummies were those? No.
Yeah. So Rasputin looks at the world kind of like the Matrix. The guy has everything automated, from his car, his home, his toothbrush.
Home assistant user.
So not everyone looks at the same world in the same light, but everyone is different. So we're like, where was Rasputin when Sarah was hired and being promoted or stuff like that? He was at GaryCon. He's allowed to take a little time off. He's automated everything. He can take time off. But now he's back, and he's ready to get back to work, and he's found out, like,
the Dungeon Master is in the house.
The Dungeon Master is in the house. So he gets back from GaryCon, checks in with Kevin, finds out, well, we got someone new hired, and now we got a new chief marketing officer. That's cool.
In one day?
In one day. And then he's seeing the things. Kevin's debriefing him, and he's like, wondering what's up on that. Finds out more. Rasputin likes to learn as well. He goes and chats to Sean. Again, that collaboration being very important. And then he's getting better understanding between that sort of connection between the IDP and Jamf Pro, gathering all this information. He's, formulating. He's really processing. And he's just like, well, that workflow isn't bad. It works, but is there a better way, right? Because there's one part of Kevin's workflow that he wants to change. He doesn't want to wait for that inventory update. Like, as Rob mentioned, like for iPad OS and iOS, it's daily unless you ask for it, but you don't want to be spamming that button constantly. Or like Mac OS, it could be like that. It's just, he's an automation overlord. He is the DM. He wants to sort of do this. So he wants to sort of say, like, can we do more? So Rasputin goes on a quest. The first thing he does, he reads the fantastic manual. He scrolls down. He goes to developer.jamf.com. Sorry, Dan, open developer.jamf.com. And he sees that Jamf Pro has an API. So for mobile devices, for computers, he's like, okay. So he's looking at that. He's wondering where he can sort of get more information on this. So it's time for Rasputin now to level up. But he's leveling up on his coding skills. He's going to get, starting now, he's going to get his developer grind on. That's a very familiar screen.
That's his screen.
Yeah, hi.
You don't want to look at his tabs in his browser. It's like little lines.
Genuinely, that was a screenshot from this. So that's the kind of guy Rasputin is. He's got a lot of things going on. There's a few Easter eggs in there, but anyway. So let's sort of like talk about like the automated workflow that we're going to sort of look at doing. So Rasputin's gone, he's read the fantastic manual, and he's like, okay, well, there's the event grid subscription that we saw in Entra. That's going to fire off that a user changed, in this case it was Sarah. That's going to go down to a script. The script's going to fire off to Graph API in Microsoft to get all of the users groups that Entra knows of for Sarah. The script's then going to fire off to Jamf Pro to say what groups are Sarah's devices a member of. We can see there's like and then it does a little compare. So you can see what's on the left and what's on the right there. We can see there's a bit of a difference. It's then going to proceed down, and Rasputin's only rolled a 14, but his intelligence modifier is like through the roof. So it then goes down and does a little bit of logic. It's like, okay, does the group exist inside Jamf Pro? No? We're going to create the group then. Yes? Okay, what do we need to do to that group? So in this case, we're going to add her devices, the computers and the mobile devices, to Team Marketing, Team C-Suite. She was already a member of all staff, so we don't need to change that. But she's no longer a member of the team intern, so we're going to remove her devices from that group.
So we can take a look here at this kind of the demo of the script and what we're looking at. So the first thing is we can zoom in into our smart group here, a static group here, and we can see that Sarah is a member of this group, her email address. Okay, and we're going to her other device in our iOS device, and she is also a member in this interns static group. So going to the script and taking a look, the first thing we got to pay attention to is we're targeting just the one user here, and that's Sarah's email. We can then run the script. It's a Python script, by the way. It will be shared later. Run the script here, and is exactly what Dan brought out and talked about. We can see that she's not a member of the group for interns anymore. She's not a member of this group, and it automatically moves and updates the memberships within Jamf Pro. Taking a look at those static groups now, we have a new static group that exists. The previous one, there's no devices in. The new team marketing group has been created, and the device has been moved over. Fully automated, automating all the things. The target, the trigger on this one, though, was the variable of her email address, but that could be something coming from
that would be
Entra.
where you would insert the trigger, the event, pubs, whatever. You'd have to sort of add that to there.
It's just the building blocks. It's a quick example. So, quest update, right? We had two different quests here, right? We had the quest, well, 3 if you take Sarah's miraculous promotion in one day.
Journey.
Yeah, that was something else. But a quest update, we had Rasputin and we had Kevin. And really, when we take a look at that quest and we kind of zoom in on their journey, what really happened here was kind of two things. They both started in kind of the same direction, very different workflows, but they read the fantastic manual, right? They came together by the campfire, shared all their notes, brought in some collaborators, in this case with Jean Lapin, right? Created a little battle party, right? And together, right, created something Cool, right? But we need that, right? Better together. So remember this, you're not alone. We can share the load, right? We can collaborate, try your best, but we make good things together. And?
Very important, most important of all, enjoy the adventure.
Yeah. So thanks to our virtual cast here, right? Kevin Skidmore, Sarah Newman.
Rasputin.
And they're, you know, life's not complete without having Jean Lapin. So for our resources.
Unlike Misha, we are okay with potentially rickrolling you, but we promise this isn't. This
is not rickrolling you, unless Misha scans it.
Yeah. This is sort of like a high spot resources page, so once this recording is up, this will be updated to this QR code as well. A link through to a GitHub repo where that script is up there as well, if anyone wants to play around with it. Leave it up there for anyone who wants to do it, but with that, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, I will say we do have there's time for questions, I think.
There is.
14 minutes.
14,
Yeah,
well,
you're
we
doing great
crushed
on
it.
time.
We crushed it. It was a good time.
We do have a prize for questions.
Yes.
And it's not a selfie
And
with me.
it's a selfie. No. Scott and I are going to be tag teaming questions. So
Okay.
we'll be walking
So we got
around.
someone there?
Throw your hand up with questions. I think.
So the question I have is, if you have a lot of groups, like the automation where it's creating those groups, like, does that become problematic? Because we have some users that have hundreds of groups that they're assigned to.
So for that automated workflow, creating the static group method, you mean?
Yeah.
I mean, we've had customers that have
Hundreds of groups.
hundreds and thousands of groups run a very similar workflow. It's fine.
No issues.
I can hold it.
Yeah, no, thank you. We're not, for health and safety reasons, we're not allowed to throw these at you, so.
Accept that, Misha.
There was a legal disclaimer.
There was a legal disclaimer, yeah. You might have noticed there was a slight Dungeons and Dragons theme, so we have D20.
Great presentation, guys. As far as adding cloud identity providers, so my org, we got bought out earlier this year. That same org bought a bunch of other orgs, so they have different environments for each one. One is set up as Entra, we're set up as Entra and Okta, and then one is set up as Google Workspace. Would I be able to add multiple cloud identifiers if there's no there's no duplicates between each one? Would that be able to work?
No, but you would have Okta. Okta would be the best route to level playing field on that one.
Yeah, I mean, that is tricky, because you're also like, there's no source of truth for you in that environment, right?
Not at the moment, no. I mean, the end goal will be, but at the moment we're fragmented and we're kind of working towards the one solution.
Yeah, I don't believe you can have multiple cloud identity providers. What you could do for, like, say, like the Entra and Okta scenario is, so you could have that, because Okta is using a LDAP interface, so you can go cloud identity and then LDAP for that one.
But don't.
Don't? Would be like, because that's kind of like putting like a bandage on a bullet hole, right?
Yeah,
like
that's kind of
we
the
want to
other
work
route.
to a better solution rather than sort of plugging the holes here and there. So I'd really sort of try and
Can you
work.
just multiple federations in Okta?
You can,
So,
but I think it sounded like there was multiple Entras or Oktas.
Multiple Entras, yeah.
Entras, yeah. So you'd be looking at trying to do like a global federation across those. The collaboration then is really key with those IDP admins and explaining the sort of the case out there. They are going to want to centralize it. They're going to prioritize that. So I'd say just sort of try and put your hand up and say, how can I help? But working better together is going to be a big one for that one, I'm afraid.
yeah. There's other workflows, maybe we could talk about it, but yeah, it's tough because you have multiple sources of truth, so.
Yeah. Great, thanks guys.
Yeah. We have a question at the back. We should have just given them some to.
Yeah, we should have just gave you some, I'm sorry.
So how do you see this working with the limitations option for scopings of many of the applications and policies that we have in the platform? We can use the directory services memberships directly that way.
I would avoid using that. That actually causes a huge load of processing because you're like, that sort of workflow of like scope to all computers or all devices and then limit subset these LDAP groups. is actually a very time-consuming and taxing process.
Yeah, because you're calculating on the fly every single time.
Yeah, every inventory update like that. There's more, and that's where we've had like customers with hundreds and thousands of groups move to that kind of static and align with that thing where you're targeting a group that level rather than looking at the limit.
Because the static is static, there's no calculation, so it's just instant. And then since your kind of automation is doing all the logic, Jamf Pro is just literally just hitting a nail on the head. There's no calculation necessary.
Yeah. And if you're then looking at like that being triggered by the identity side, not within the Jamf side, that's also much quicker because the change is occurring first at the identity and Jamf second, right?
Yeah.
So that sort of process of there, it removes a lot of heavy lifting on the Jamf side, and it makes your scalability of that significantly higher.
So I guess at that point, would I need to increase my device inventory time? I go by every day, just in case something like that catches, but is there any downside to going every 8 hours, 12 hours, just to ensure it catches a group in an overnight shift type situation change?
It's kind of like it kind of depends. There's variables on this.
Do you need it that fast?
Yeah.
If you do
Depends
need
on
it
the
that
person.
fast, then you might want to take it out of like the inventory being the requirement and go Rasputin way
Yeah.
and trigger from the IDP. But if you want to go Kevin Skidmore way, then
Yeah, and like but reducing down the inventory collection can have some negative impacts. And especially the number of devices you have, number of smart group calculations that occur, we have done a lot of work to improve that like efficiency. But it's going to be a thing is like how necessary is it, and you're going to potentially get to a point where you're going to outgrow that, and then you'd be wanting to look at the automation full method, the Rasputin way. There's no inventory collection required with that. It's like if they've changed, if they're in that group one way or another, it's going to update.
yep.
And that Rasputin video, I should say, was not sped up at all. That was refreshed, done. Thank you for the question there. We have another one
Yeah,
there.
one there and one
there
over
and then
here.
there. Hi.
So kind of continuing off of that with the Rasputin way and the static groups.
Yes.
So the way that I'm currently scoping things, I'm using smart groups based off of the identity of the person that the device is assigned to, but then it's dependent on that inventory collection. It's always calculating on the fly. In our K through 8 district, we have students that get their devices replaced relatively frequently for a myriad of reasons. So would that Rasputin way run and be dumping these like replacement devices into those static groups? So like say a student breaks their iPad, we issue them a new iPad, their user is assigned to that iPad. Would all of this logic work with that, or am I still then relying on smart groups?
No, because we're relying on the owner of the device, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Because I have like
There's no-
400 smart groups right now
Sure.
because of all of
So-
our grade levels and buildings and all of that.
Assuming you're doing this, you're like student for whatever reason, you need to give them a new device.
Yep.
Are they seen as assigned inside Jamf Pro?
Yes.
Then absolutely, that Rasputin would work.
Yeah.
Great. And it doesn't require the inventory update. It's
Nope.
just
No, because the device is assigned to that user. That user, it just moves into the group, and it's.
lovely.
Were they playing iPad Frisbee? Is that why they replaced the iPad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also stick the iPad under a chair and just sit on it because it looks cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does look really cool.
Yeah.
And then, yes, over there.
Do you guys have any resources on mimicking this Rasputin workflow, but with Okta Workflows?
There's a ton, actually. Vincent, I think, had done a presentation at JNUC last year.
Maybe
Vincent,
we can add that link to the.
we will add that
resources.
link. So this resources thing, keep that there, because that's a live page. We will continue to update to that there. There have been many JNUC sessions in the past as well using Okta Workflows. We actually have a Jamf API integration with Okta Workflows, so you don't. It actually is less scripting required. Still a little bit of understanding the API and stuff like that, but you can have like user added, trigger this workflow, and it goes through and does like that. If you search, I'm pretty sure it's Vincent's done a lot of work on that. Yeah. I think last year, and San Diego, 2022. No. Oh no, older. It was COVID. 2000.
Yeah, it was the
2021.
2021. Yeah.
But yes, sorry, short answer. We will put some resources up on that page as well, but if
But you
you
can do
don't
it
wait
at
for
all.
us there, you can search it too. But there are, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do we need to give you more?
Do you need some more of these?
Hi.
Hi. So, quick question, just kind of to piggyback off of what the gentleman back there said. We also are education district, and we have a lot of broken devices. So, in the case that he was talking about, is that device, once you get the new student gets a new device, obviously they're going to get the assignments correctly. The previous device, is that going to be waiting on just wiping the device to clear the record, or are you also writing something in there to clear that with your script?
For my script there, I wasn't writing back or anything. That's going to be very much dependent on your offboarding workflows or rotation workflows, stuff like that. So you would probably want to wipe the device anyway because it could be sensitive data or identified and you want to start fresh. Yeah. And as part of a re-enrollment setting inside Jamf Pro, there is a tick box there, say clear user and location assignment. So that would just be part of that workflow.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I like scripting and automating, but if there's a tick box, I'll use the tick box.
Yeah. Any other questions? Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
from Lord and Savior?
yeah.
Yeah.
Don't say it.
So I noticed as part of the keynote, Rob, you asked Dan to move forward the slides. How much does it cost to use Dan as a service?
2 selfies.
2 selfies? I think I saw something like $5 a license add-on, I think it was, if you talk to the sales team. As like a show of hands, who thinks my heart rate was over 120? Keep them up if you think it was over 130. Keep them up if you think it was over 140. It was 141. I had this on, I could see the entire heart rate data afterwards. It was terrifying.
Are you dying? No, no, I'm just presenting live demos.
Hey, Dan.
So if there's no more questions, thank you very much, everybody.
Yes, thank you.
And have a wonderful JNUC.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rob and Dan.